What's up everyone, I'm back for my second half of the review of Game of Thrones Season 4 Episode 5. I left off with saying how I'm stuck on Littlefinger, very interested to see where he goes. But let's continue with Brienne and Podrick. My god, these two have been my new favourite odd couple. It's just hilarious. I mean, Podrick can't even ride the horse properly. And you just see Brienne, like she just him, she's like, oh my god, why am I stuck with you? And I feel loads with Podrick, but Brienne's honourable. She's like, still take care of him. I mean, she is the most honourable person since arguably Ned. Honestly, she's that honourable. And I just love the part when Podrick's like, when Brienne says, why won't you leave? And Podrick's like, what type of loyal squire would I be then? And she couldn't stop laughing. But the best scene between them, I think, was later on when they're by the fire and Brienne is like trying to take off her armour and Podrick's like, let me help you. And Brienne's like, I could take off my own armour. I've been doing it for a long time. And you can just tell Podrick's like, he just feels useless, like he can't do anything. And Brienne starts giving out to him like, you've never cooked, have you? No. What did you do for Tyrion? I brought his letters around, cleaned up after him, made sure everything he needed was there. But I mostly poured wine, of course. Even Brienne was like, yeah, I guess. And as it went on, Brienne said, why does Tyrion like you so much? I mean, why does he feel responsible for you or something like that? And Podrick's like, I saved his life, I killed a man. And Brienne didn't even say anything because like she could tell by the look on Podrick's face that it was hard for him. And I was like, yeah, fair enough. And when he said, who did you kill? A Kingsguard. And Brienne's like, how did you kill a Kingsguard? And Podrick's like, I stabbed him in the back of the head with a spear. And you could tell it was hard for him. And Brienne was just like, she couldn't say anything because you could tell. And she tried to take off armour again. And she's like, oh, screw it, help me with my armour. And I thought it was a nice thing for Brienne to do, to ask him to help. And I like that they haven't been cold as all. Like when I last episode, like I think last week's episode, when I saw that they were leaving together, I was like, okay, they're probably going to be cold as all for a while. And I was like, God, I really like Brienne. I'm starting to like Pod a lot. But I'm happy that they're still in the show and they're continuing to be involved in the episodes. And I look forward to seeing if they form a friendship down the road. Because I like both of them and they're really cool. But moving on. Speaking of odd couples, we got the Hound and Arya. And I always love these two people. I said it from the beginning. Arya is going to turn into a badass. A badass killer. First episode, no lie, I said she's going to turn into an assassin or some badass killer. And lo and behold, we're well on our way, aren't we? And I just love her. She's lying down, naming out the names. And I was like, that's a lot of names. Like, I watched Game of Thrones recently again, season 2, and I saw her that part, I think she's in Harrenhal, she's lying down, it's like, naming out 4 names. And I was like, it's kind of up to 10 now. I was like, you got a lot of work to do. But there was not one name I know was missing. And when Holmes said, go on, finish off the list. And she just goes, I have one more. The Hound. I was like, oh. And you could tell Hound, he was like, giving a stare. It's like, And I was like, oh. I don't want her to kill Hound because I love Hound, but I don't know what's going on with them. They're very interesting. And then it moves on to the lair scene, and Hound wakes up, he's like, where the hell is she? And you see Arya dancing, well, perhaps in her sword fighting the way Syrio tore her, and it was kind of nice to see that. And Hound's like, what the hell are you doing? And Arya's like, I'm training. The way Syrio told me, I'm dancing. And Hound's like, dancing? And Arya's like, he was the greatest sword fighter that ever lived. And Hound's like, and where is he? And Arya's like, he's dead. So the greatest sword fighter ever lived is dead. And then they go on to a conversation, and you can tell Arya's getting annoyed with Hound. And at one point, he said, he didn't have a sword. And Arya's like, Hound is like, you're telling me the greatest sword fighter who ever lived died? He didn't have a sword. He didn't have armour. And then Arya said, yeah, but he was killed by Sir Melin, or whatever his name is, that Egypt in the Kingsguard. And Hound was like, really? Sir Melin? I think that's his name. Anyone could kill 3 of them. You could kill 3 Sir Melins. And I was like, yeah, because if I was seeing, he doesn't seem that big a threat. I mean, Hound would destroy him. And I think Bran could have killed him if he ever actually fought the several times they interacted in the King's Landing. So I was like, fair enough. And Hound's like, go on then, show me what you can do. And you see Arya just thrust her sword into Hound's arm, and I was like, oh. And when Hound just slapped her, I was like, it's a bit harsh, but fair enough. He probably did just try to kill him. And Hound's like, do I know why Sir Meryn lives and Sirio's dead? Because he had a big ass sword and big armour. And I was like, Hound, it's a bit harsh, but then I was like, you can't argue with that logic. I mean, yeah, it's about the skill of the fire, but a big ass sword and armour, it always helps. Look at Hound, for God's sake. And so, I'm trying to see where they're going. I love doing them. I think they're like the funniest odd couple ever. Since the beginning of this season, they've just been gold whenever they're on screen. And I cannot wait to see where this goes. But let's move on to arguably the biggest part of this show. Jon Snow attacking the Mutineers. No, the fighting was awesome. It wasn't the greatest thing ever, but it was epic. But let's start off with saying, thank God Locke is dead. Like, I liked Locke, but, well, to a point. I like the actor and the way he acted, but he was just too cruel and evil. He chopped off Jaime's hand, for God's sake. And when he tried to take Bran, I was like, oh, things are okay, but you know, something's going to happen. And he said, you're coming with me. I was like, oh God. And when Bran took over Hodor, I was like, oh shit, this is awesome. And when Hodor broke out, and you just see him lift him up, and I was like, unlimited power. And just boom, breaks his neck. I was like, awesome. But I felt lousy in Hodor, because he wakes up, he's like, what did I do? And you just feel bad for him. But then it moves on. And Bran tells her to rescue the rest. And while this is going on, Jon finally meets up with that guy, whoever the leader. He's like, I can kill any man. You don't know what I could do. I was king of the slums. And I was like, oh, it's going down now. Time really get your ass kicked. And to be fair, I thought he was going to be a pushover, but he did well against Jon. I have to give him credit for that. But when they got towards the end, and the girl stabbed him in the back, I was like, yes! But I was like, don't let her be the cause of his death. I mean, she's just some unknown girl in the soul. And when he turned around the gear, I was like, something's going to happen. And when I saw Jon's sword go through the back of him, I was like, ooh. I mean, that's brutal and gruesome for Game of Thrones standards. But it was awesome. And I was so relieved. I was like, finally, you are dead. Locke is dead. Mainly Locke. I'm just relieved he won't kill anyone else again. Or harm him. And I was like, yeah, fuck you all. But then, there was one thing I noticed, and I was like, I believe his name is Rust, the guy who killed Lord Mormont in the first place. The guy's been an asshole since the beginning, especially this time. I was like, where is he? He always seems to get away. And when I saw him in the forest, I was thinking something. But then when they saw the cage opened, I was like, oh yeah, Ghost is coming for you, lads. And then you just see Ghost like, ah! I was like, yes! So satisfying. And then, probably, it seemed that Larry brought a tear to my eye, but I'll say one thing before that. When I saw Bran, and he's looking at Jon, and it's like, it was emotional, because Bran's like, the brother helping him, whoever he is, says to Bran, you have to choose. Will you go north or will you go to Burr? Because he will not leave you go. And I was like, oh, that's a hard choice. And when Bran chose to leave his Burr and continue, I was like, that's good commitment from Bran. I wish they did kind of see there a little, but it was great commitment, and I'm interested to see where it goes, especially with supernatural stuff. I tell you right now, I mark it down, he is going to take over a dragon towards the end. If he builds his power, he is going to fucking take over a dragon. I guarantee it. If he does, my God, it's going to be awesome. I guarantee he will do it. And then probably the nicest scene in the entire show. You just see Jon, he's standing around and he looks towards the forest, and you see Ghost, and he's just walking out of the forest, and you just see there, it's like, oh, it was such a nice moment. Because you see Jon, he's like the bastard of his family, and Snow's like the runt of his litter, and it's just like, it was so nice when me up, and you could tell Jon was so happy to see Ghost, and Ghost, well, obviously, he looked happy to see him, and I was like, they're back. Like, Jon is literally, if you had to pick a hero in this show, like, Daenerys probably is, but the more the traditional hero, the warrior, uncorrupted, who will not give up, it's Jon. I mean, it is Jon Snow, and with his noble steed, in this case, the dire of Ghost, and I was like, so nice, and they better not die. If one dies, the other has to die. But I don't want anyone to die, but I'm just saying, you just can't have one without the other. They're so, I love them, and I'm just happy Ghost is back with Jon, and I'm happy they're all dead, but then the Whitings are coming in, it's like, oh shit, what are we going to do now? I mean, it's 100 against, it's like, I didn't forget, it's a lot anyway, it's much more than 100, it's like 100,000 against 100 or something, and I'm like, how are you going to do it? But that's another talk for another day. before I leave this, I just want to say a preview for next week has me very interested. First of all, Yara is finally in it, and I hope Ramsay. I hate Ramsay. I arguably hate him more than Joffrey. Yeah, I know that's a hard thing to do, but I hate him, and I hope Yara or Tion or one of them kills him because he's got to go down. No, I'm saying he has to go down, and I hope one of them kills him. And I'm very interested to see where. Because if I start going, so I was playing the Bulls and the Greyjoys, who's going to take over North, and I prefer the Greyjoys. I mean, pray the Iron Price. They just sound tough and badass. A lot more than the Boltons. Flayed Man is like, yeah, he's still over there. And I'm very excited to see where this goes. And Tyrion's trial. I am very interested to see what happens in this. He better not die. I'm serious. If he dies, I just don't want to do it anymore. He better not die. Seriously. I am very interested to see where it goes. And I have a feeling Tyrion's going to find a way to get over it. Well, I hope he does. I think everyone does. It makes me very excited for next week because all the big stuff is going to happen now. I mean, seriously, Tyrion's trial, the Greyjoy versus the Boltons, and there was something else. What was the Stannis with the Iron Bank. That is going to be very interesting. It's like Lost at this point with Stannis. He's still on the island, for God's sake. Just get off. I'm happy he's finally doing something, and I'm thinking, if the Iron Bank helps Stannis and the Lancers all dead, will the Iron Bank fund him or give him an army so they can take over King's Landing, so they can receive their payment? And I'm like, oh God, if the Stannis has the Iron Bank in his sight and the Red Queen and the Lord of Light, I'm like, oh God, this is going to be worse than last time. And I am very excited. Tyrion's trial, the Greyjoys, Stannis, and probably some more stuff. I cannot wait. It's getting really good. The pace and the Queen, I'm getting very excited. Well, I just want to thank you for listening to this, and if you like, subscribe, comment. Again, I want to hear what you say, and thank you for watching this video, and see you till next time.